Have you listened to Tate's new song yet? Tate Mcrea.
Yes, I think I have. I know I have because I listened to it yesterday.
How do you? Okay, you think you have?
Yesterday.
Do you like
Sports car. She went very like 2000s like club pop like I'm gonna say Akon, but Akon isn't the right like.
Claire
not
said
Akon.
Pussycat Dolls.
I know who that is, but I don't know who that is.
You know the song Buttons? Listen up more buttons, babe.
I think so.
I do. I agree. I think it's fun because it's like different than her like regular like music patterns. Like her like
It's different for sure.
Yeah.
It's different than most music. Today's music.
But really, what I'm here to talk about is: have you watched the music video?
No, is it scandalous? I feel like all of her music videos are scandalous.
It definitely is. But did you watch the Two Hands music video?
No, honestly, I haven't really paid attention to the music world lately.
This girl needs help with her music videos.
Why?
They just make no sense. The Two Hands music
because
video.
They're just thirst traps. She's just shaking ass and titties.
But hear me out. The Two Hands music video is her in like a more scandalous like NASCAR racing tracksuit.
Actually, I feel like I've seen clips of it, but I haven't watched
at
the
a
whole
gas
thing.
station and driving around a sports fucking car. Why is that not the sports car music video?
This is true. This is a true statement.
And then the sports car music video is like her in like more like exotic outfits and like positions. And she's like in a room and it's like 10 different rooms of like different hers. And there's someone like watching her through the glass. And she's like seductively dancing. Which makes so much more sense for the Two Hands
Maybe
music
they
video.
Just got them mixed up. The scripts just got swapped or something.
Because the whole Two Hands music video is about like two hands on you.
Why are you going like this?
I don't know.
Are you taking someone? Or are you like, what is this?
Literally though. So like it made way more sense for like someone to be I don't know. I was just like the music videos are wrong. Same with like the first one. What is the song? It's Okay, I'm Okay. I was very confused what the point of that music. Like I was like, why are you getting arrested? But yeah, it's just a thirst trap.
I actually don't know why. Because
I love her music.
she's good. And a good old Albertan. Good old Albertan.
Yep.
Shout out Alberta.
I'm curious because there's like potentially a Justin Bieber album coming this year. And I think we'll see her on it.
Maybe done making music because he sold all his, like, I think it was a year or two ago that he sold, maybe it was more, I don't know my timeline, but he sold his rights to all his music.
Make more money.
It was true. He's probably not getting those residual checks anymore. So
gotta
now
pay
he's
off
probably like,
that
I gotta.
DUI he had when he was like 17.
I'm sure he's paid that off in tenfold already. Wait,
he's got a kid now. He's got to invest in. He's got to make more money. Yeah, they had a baby.
I don't know if I know this.
Even my uncle knew this, so
maybe I did. I don't know.
Because Kid Laroi and Justin Bieber are like best friends.
Yeah.
And then Kid Laroi and Tate Mcrea. And so Tate just did a collab with Hailey Bieber. And I'm now curious. I'm like, if Justin has a new album, I could see Tate on it.
Yeah.
Kid Laroi will probably be on
I'm
it.
surprised Kid Laroi and Tate Mcrea don't have music yet out.
They sang together at a performance, and that was really good.
Old songs.
But I think
they would be...
he's in... I think his voice is in the sports car song. I didn't look at credits, but there's like a man's voice at some point.
Could be.
Just like one word at some like background thing. And I was like, I wonder if that's his voice.
Could be. Okay, I have another music conversation thing. So, I don't even know if you're going to have much to say on this. We were on Discord, and Sabrina Carpenter came up.
Okay.
And Omran was saying how he doesn't like her because she thinks all she does is sell sex, and she thinks that she acts dumb. And he thinks that that's, like, he would never want to meet her, and he thinks that that's her whole person. And he said he used to like her music, but he doesn't listen to her music anymore because of that. And then my argument is, let me lay the scene.
I have thoughts, so.
My argument is that, how can you base someone, like, you're digesting someone's music, which most of it depends on the artist, but not all the song is always written by that artist. Like, some of the lyrics aren't always their lyrics. B, sometimes they're just saying shit because it rhymes and it does things, and that's like the vibe of the song, and they just start with a concept and stuff just starts coming out. And it's because he was like, she's so dumb because, like, she made, I think he was talking about taste, about how she's so dumb that she's saying that whoever it was about is going to go back to Camila Cabello, even though Sabrina Carpenter was already the second chick. So like she's so dumb for saying that Camila Cabello's the second chick when she already was the second chick. And like he's like, it just rubs me the wrong way, and all she does is sell sex, and she just thinks that she's so hot because of all of her stuff and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, that's her brand for one. Like if you watch, in my opinion, if you watch some of her interviews, like she is more out there. She says some crazy stuff, but her stuff that isn't put out by her team, if it's an interview with someone like a different interview group where she isn't driving the narrative, she isn't as like sex sells.
I agree.
And she's just more like her. But I feel like that whole thing is like her brand. And then my argument to that is like, I would say 80% of female artists are, that's because it sells and they do it. And if that's not them and he listens to their music.
I would be surprised if you could name an ex-Disney star who didn't go through a phase of being like, I'm just going to talk about sex and be dirty because I was not allowed to do that for 20 years of my life under Disney.
But even like, he was like, well, like none of the old music female artists did it. And I was like, that is not true. Like
Miley Cyrus, literally look at her.
Miley Cyrus.
She was fucking
Rihanna,
twerking at the VMAs on like stage.
They all do it because it sells, and most of them are doing it. But that's not actually them. They're doing it because they know it. Like it sells.
My other thought to this is listen to men music and tell me it's not about fucking pussy.
That too. Like it's. I don't know. I just thought it was a bad argument to just not like someone because that's what they talk about. Or
I agree. Like I don't know a female artist, specifically an ex-Disney star, that doesn't do sex sells. It does sell. Also, I personally think Kate. If we're talking comparing Tate and Sabrina, I like them both. Tate is definitely selling to the male sex sells. Like, she's there for like a man to look at. Like, you know, like that's kind of like the brand there. Does that make sense?
I feel like, yeah.
Versus like, I feel like Sabrina's is not like, it's more for like the females. Like she's wearing like weird lingerie.
Suck that dick, sister.
She's wearing weird lingerie that like you don't actually wear to bed because it's like very like 50s pinup. Like I don't know, like watching her concert, she wore lingerie the entire time, but I didn't feel like she was being overly sexual.
Well, he was like, yeah, but like she literally, her whole performance is like doing sex scenes on the thing, and I was like, that's not really true because it's it's like
it's one line.
It's one line in one song, and it's marketing for like the song, and that's what I was trying to tell. I was like, you can't like all of 90% of this. I'm maybe not that. I don't. A large percentage of this is she's doing it because it's marketing.
I also think it's her personality. Like I do
Some
think
of it
that
is
like
her personality,
she's funny and she like leans into it.
I think she's really funny, but I don't think that that's a fair statement that to just not like her and think her personality is solely that because of what she does on stage. And like
it was also a like redo of Nonsense because the Nonsense outros blew up on TikTok and that's what grew her fame. And so she didn't want to repeat it in her new concert but wanted something like it. But I don't know, I live for those. I thought it was like hilarious to see what she was gonna do. I thought it's funny, and also to see a female do stuff like that and not be embarrassed about it, I feel like is like really cool for like generations. She was being sued though.
For what?
It didn't actually go through because it was just like a false sue, but parents were trying to sue her
for being a
for
bad role model.
Their kids buying tickets.
We were kind of talking about that too, but like also we're like, that's just a bad parent. Like if you don't know,
yes,
A, you don't do the research, or like B, you don't know what a Sabrina Carpenter show is, like that's your own fault.
And it's not the start. Like people are like, well, I didn't know this album was gonna be so sexual. Yes, this album is more sexual, but if you go back and watch some of her like old tours, she's up there. There's a pole in one of her old concerts that she was swinging around. Like
this is also what I'm saying is, what song can you listen to that doesn't have male or female, like doesn't have some type of sexual reference or underlying?
Probably not. Like I do think
reference.
That there's artists like Taylor Swift, in my opinion, does not use sex to sell. Like she uses her relationships, but she's not like trying to be like sexual. But Selena Gomez, the Hamster Herself music video is her in her lingerie walking around.
And like then they were like talking about how much they love Dua Lipa, and I was like, Dua Lipa is wearing nothing, literally just shaking her booty cheeks around. And I'm not saying she doesn't make good music, but I'm just saying like,
yes,
even male artists, they fucking are shirtless, dancing around, doing like,
yes, sex sells.
It's just like,
I think it's sad that it sells so much. But
I'm
also,
getting heated. We talked about this for like 2 hours.
there's something
on.
I feel like very like also like great about it. Especially because of like in this world, there's a lot of people that have grown up thinking like sex is bad. Like you're like the word clean is used. Like if you're a virgin, you're clean. If you're having sex, you're dirty. And like that's disgusting that those are like words used in my opinion. And so I feel like seeing people that you look up to be okay doing things like this on stage or singing about them or like honestly, the thing is sex is so normal too. Like they're sharing their experiences with it. I mean, we've all walked by like a guy or a girl at one point and been like, they're fucking hot. I'd like to sleep with them.
Yeah.
So like that is what like bed chem really is. Like she was just like,
That's what I'm.
like
Yeah,
it's relatable.
I agree. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to.
Yeah.
I think it was just hard. End of point. I think he just is assuming too much based on stuff that gets put on the internet, which isn't always people like how people actually are.
I just also think it's so weird to just say that you're not going to listen because, but then I've seen who he listens to. Like, as you said, like Dua Lipa's also selling sex. Like,
they're doing the same thing. Maybe one does it more, but they're still using the underlying concept of it to like.
It's also
I don't think that defines them as like
one album. Are you not allowed to put an album out that's
but
like your
also
sexual
the other
freedom?
thing too, like she's got what 10 songs on that album, and it's like I haven't listened. Maybe it's not fair to say, but like what, like 3 out of the 10 are like super sexual
Yeah.
compared to
Even
the other like her biggest ones, which maybe that's why they're the biggest. Probably not. They're good songs, but like
yeah, like Bedcam and Juno are probably like the most.
Taste is definitely sexual. She's literally talking
I
about
guess,
tasting
yeah.
someone's.
Yeah. Going back to the taste argument too, I think that this is so funny that people can't get it though. It's not about her being the second chick. It's about this guy going back. And so like you have to know he left you, came to me, and then went back to you.
Yeah, but he's
like,
saying
I'm there.
He's saying that same thing already happened to her. So why are you like saying that it's bad or quote unquote bad that she's gonna do it, but when it happened to her first.
But it's not about being the second chick. Like it's not about being like she understands that like everyone
she's tasting Camila Cabello, but she's now.
Yeah, but everyone has been with someone else. Well, not everyone, but you know, like it's normal for like
Yes.
a guy to have been with a girl before. So that's not what she's saying. She's saying that he left you, chose me, and now he's going back to you. And do you think like that didn't exist? Like it's about that part. It's not about.
But it's
the overall concept of being the second chick.
But it is the same. Like the same scenario happened to her first. Like
no,
I
because
that.
Sabrina wasn't first and then second and then first.
No, but Camila Cabello was first, regardless. Between
yes.
the two of them was first.
But that's not what it's about.
It's
about when they go back to them.
Yeah, but the same situation,
Like, no, because Sabrina wasn't first. It's about the middle section.
Yeah, but
it's about the fact that
the concept is still the same thing. You're having me after. The concept is.
It's like, think about the fact that he decided to go fuck someone else and then get back with you. It's about the and then get back with you. Like, what does that say? Like, he decided. Like, it's not about.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
RN's seeing it the other way, though. How.
Yes,
I get what you're saying. I get it. I get both sides now.
It's like a very surface level, I think, thing to look at it. Just like, oh, you were the second chick, but it's more than that. It's a metaphor for more than that.
I get it. Either way.
But also, it's just a song.
She probably is a sexual person, but I feel like she's not that in real life. If you would meet her, I bet that's not. Totally her.
It's also just one album out of what, like 8 that she's put out.
Yeah, I don't know.
And if you look at Miley Cyrus, she's got a sexual album. If you look at fucking Hilary Duff, she's got a sexual album. Britney Spears, Tate Mcrae's songs currently have all been about sex too. In this new album.
bad argument in my opinion, but
I agree.
we argued about it for a long time.
You can't change people's mind when they're just like so set on that.
Next topic. What do you got for me? Nothing?
Nothing.
What about your book?
Oh, Onyx Storm released. I cried a lot. It's kind of cool to be part of something like this. Like, I was saying, like, it's like a once-in-a-lifetime experience to be part of something that blew up so much that we were lining up outside of a bookstore to get a fucking first edition copy of this book.
We talked about this already, but I miss this about video games. Like,
we did talk about this one time.
Waiting at Best Buy or like getting off school and just driving straight to Best Buy to like line up and get something.
Which, like, how cool, like, to be a part of that now.
Like, I feel like that doesn't happen, so it's cool that that's like a thing now. Again, like,
I might, you might hate this because you might end up being forced to a midnight release because I have no friends. And I think I want to go to one next year. They did like a bunch of midnight release parties. And so in the first book, the girl has to walk the parapet, which is just like essentially like a 2x4 over like a cliff. And it's during a storm. And if you fall, you die. And then you don't make it.
I would make it across.
I wouldn't. But at like all of the midnight release parties, people would put like a 2x4 on the ground and you'd have to like walk the parapet.
You should have did that for a YouTube video.
And they'd like play games and stuff like that because she has to do a bunch of stuff. Like there's like essentially like a jungle gym she has to go through. But if you fall, you're fucking dying because there's that drop. But I think that's so cool. Like just to see like culture around something and to see someone. I think it's so exciting to see everyone very excited about something. In my opinion, there was a couple of videos that I saw that were like hating on it right like as the release happened, and I understand why they do it because it's clickbait and it's gonna get views, but like it's so annoying to me to just like not let people have like a day of just like pure excitement over something. But I get clickbait and views is a big thing.
That's just the same conversation we just had. Things just happen because of views and money.
Yes, 100%.
Like, I don't know.
But yeah, that's all.
Is the book 5 stars?
Mm-hmm. It was.
Mm-hmm. Feels.
It was. It broke me in multiple places of my soul.
I don't. Cassidy showed me a clip where she's just crying in her vlog about the book, and I was like, I don't know if I would ever cry reading a book or like get that emotion. Maybe I would. I don't know.
No, because
this is honestly, I've thought about the. Okay, wait, hear me out. Dab me up, brother. Your hands already. You're like, yes.
Okay. I'll hear you out. Give it to me.
I'll give you. I think part of the reason, I don't know what kind of underlying issue this is inside of me, but I think part of the reason why I don't watch movies is because they make me too emotional, and I don't like feelings, which is ironic because like I feel like there's a part of me that likes feeling sad. But also, I don't like the roller coaster emotions that movie when they make me sad.
That's my favorite thing. I love to just fucking feel like I can never get up after this. Like I'm devastated for fucking life and I'm dying in my bed.
You know it's a good movie though when it makes you feel some type of way. But like then it's like you watch a movie before bed, you have the Sunday scaries already, and then you just watch this emotional ass movie, and it's like I feel like life is over now because of whatever this made me feel. Plus, I have to face the fears of going to work on Monday, and I just feel, and then I'm just laying in bed thinking about how depressing the movie was, or my life. I don't know. It does something to me, and I think that might be why I don't watch movies because it makes me feel too much.
I have thoughts because I feel like okay, like yes, I cry a lot, and I feel like people probably think I'm the more emotional one, but I think when it comes actually down, like I'm very closed off on my emotions, and I feel like you feel a lot more than I do. Like you're more emotional about life.
Yeah, because I'm.
But my emotions I live through fictional things. Like, I love to watch reality TV just to see people be absolutely stupid. And, like, I love to just, like, feel their emotions and their stupidity. I like to cry. I like crying in, like, shows and movies constantly. But, like, I'm so heartless in my real life. So I just, like, live through all my emotions fictionally.
That's valid. I don't get it on like reality TV though. It's just like movies. Even I guess some TV shows if they're like.
Well, because reality TV is normally like, stupid people. It's not like emotionally devastating. It's just watching rich people do dumb shit with their lives, and it makes me feel so good about myself to know that there's someone out there stupider than me.
What?
I
feel
love
like
a lot of them.
You were not a low IQ person, which we need
to
do this still. An IQ
Stop
test.
wiggling it.
Oh, that sounded crazy. I want to do an IQ test with everyone on stream.
We can do it.
But every time we do it, either like one person comes and not everyone else shows up.
I should make you take the vegetable test.
What the
What
does that mean?
You know, like an anagram and stuff like that?
Bananagrams?
An
Have you ever played bananagrams?
I have
Where
not
you
actually
spell
played.
words? You've never played bananagrams?
No, have
That's
you
a
met the
board
games that we play in my household?
Everyone was trying to teach me how to spell, and then look how that went.
Yeah, that didn't go very well. I have to find my screenshot. I
The
took the vegetable test, and it
tells
gives you
what vegetable you are.
Yeah. Do you want to hear what I was?
A potato.
A broccoli. My strengths
Oh.
are I'm a good leader, comes up with the craziest, wackiest, yet best ideas, and I have weird bursts of courage, which I think is very valid. I feel like I do all of those things. My weaknesses is I'm too scared to ask my crush
Emotions.
out and also delusional. I have perfectionist tendencies, which like I'm not a perfectionist, but there are some things that like really get me. And then a chronic case of bedhead, and I feel very called out for that one.
Meh.
The quote of broccoli is sometimes people just don't see my vision. And is everyone
Creative.
ready to go? Which also me.
Yeah.
And then peer reviews. Garlic says I have soft hands, which is so
Wait,
funny.
peer reviews?
Yeah, because
Oh, I
it
thought you
tells
said
you
pea
I
reviews.
know, peer reviews. Tells you what other vegetables think of you. Garlic says I have soft hands.
You do have soft hands.
Potato says I carried my team project, which is 100% happening.
I was always carrying the team projects. Always.
I'm much of a control freak.
It's like I know you're gonna do a shitty job, so just let me do it. And I don't trust you.
And then Bok Choy says I want to make a startup with broccoli, but they're already working on one with garlic. It was so cute to see, so I need to make you do it to see what you.
How long does it take?
It's pretty long.
Oh my goodness. We'll put the test in the description, and then people can take it with us.
I think a lot of them have done it, but
Okay, well, fuck me.
we
I
can
guess.
still
No
do it.
one
They
loves
can
me.
send what
Nope,
they
I
are.
don't care anymore.
Nikki keeps redoing it because she doesn't like the answer she keeps
did you
getting.
Bro, my gooch is itchy.
I think she was a Bok Choy, but maybe I'm wrong.
I'll just do it by myself and post it.
Yeah, I want to see. I like those things, even though like I'm not really someone. I always feel like they make them so that they like truly fit
Everybody.
to everybody.
Yes.
But I feel like that one really called me out, and it was just funny.
Astrology 101. People are gonna come for me.
Yeah, I'm not an astrology person because of this.
They're just so generic. No matter what you could apply to, it would.
Literally.
I don't know. I think there's some things that like potentially could have real situations. I don't even know what I'm saying. But most of it is just fluff,
I agree.
I think.
I agree. I think more like when you take like an actual like personality test. Like this one I had to take a test. I think these ones hit you a little bit more correct than if you like your astrology sign is just based on when you were born. I'm gonna have to take a test about my personality.
I think energies and stuff are like real in a way, but I don't know. Some of the things are just like the write-ups are just too like broad and generic for like they could fit anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I don't know.
Nick's like, I don't want to get called out for this.
No, I
says
think
other out-of-pocket things,
even
but
though
astrology, let me shut up about it.
the book that I'm reading, the Dark Matter one, of like it's kind of multiverse-esque. Would you say that?
Yeah.
I think that some of that stuff is like a real.
Amber was just telling me she wants to talk to you about the multiverse because she thinks that you guys have a long discussion about how many different things.
I think so. I think it's a real. I don't. If you start looking into like space and time, I always thought space science was so fascinating because like I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but when you start watching videos, most of it makes sense, and it is very fascinating. And like how time moves faster or slower depending on how much gravity. Do you know that time technically moves faster if you're closer to the Earth? So if you're on top of a mountain, technically time would be moving like milliseconds slower because there's less gravity up there. Where if you're in space where the gravity is really strong, time's moving so much faster. It's a real thing.
Isn't it weird to think that time is just a made-up concept?
That too. That's
the thing I think about all the time. Is like we have 365 days because someone chose we have 365 days. A day could have been 2 suns go down.
Yeah. I don't know. Space science, it just like hurts my head thinking about it, but it is so fast. I always wanted to be some type of space scientist, astrologist.
Not too late.
I'm not smart enough for that. I can't even read.
That just takes practice.
I
Reading comprehension. Reading is a skill that is learned. It's not an innate skill, in my opinion. It's a skill that is learned.
I think
because you're not good at it.
I don't know. It would be cool to be a scientist. Anyways, I don't know. Do you believe that? You don't watch enough videos. You probably don't believe. I think the multiverse, like that. I was reading some other thing about how
I don't.
There's so many different. I think they used a different word, but I'll say universes, or like based on any situation that could have happened, where like I could pick up my phone right now or not pick it up, or move it this way or that way. That's 3 different versions, and like all of these technically coexist because you can't prove them wrong until they. I don't know.
I don't.
It's really interesting how like technically they all exist somewhere out there. Like all like quantum physics and stuff. I can't even start explaining it. But if you start looking
you should watch
at space
Eureka.
and time and quantum physics stuff,
you should watch Eureka. It's fun. I don't not believe it. I feel like it's kind of similar to how I believe in religious things. I don't not believe in it, but I don't like truly believe in it until I could see it. Like that's not something I would write off as like not.
This
kinda,
is
like, yeah.
The sad part about death is like I would want to be around just because I want to see where like science is in the next like 200 years.
Fair.
I want to see if we got to like travel to other planets. I want to see if people like figure out.
I don't really care what anyone does other than myself.
Quantum physics, or like if they can. If like time travel and like jumping verses like ever gets
that's fair
figured out, because like look at how much we figured out in the last 100 years that they thought would never be possible, and like there's so much stuff that they don't know, even like the human brain of like what it can do. It's insane.
That's fair.
And like I would like to see where like all this stuff gets figured out.
That makes sense. I don't care about literally anything other than myself.
I think that is fascination. We can talk about my trip, I guess, kind of.
Okay. Share
Went
with
to the
class.
Arctic Circle. I was one with the polar bears. I was sleeping with a polar bear.
I wish you slept with me like that.
But you don't. What is that even supposed to mean? Walk me through that.
I'm just picturing a polar bear spooning you.
I would need about 3 more pounds of hair and grow about 4 sizes.
Yeah.
Why did you sound so sad?
I think it's like a cat. I love spooning my cat.
No, polar bears are actually savage. They
are.
Rip your head off.
They are. But so is a
play
cat
soccer
when it's that size. Like when you think about it, our little domestic cats, when they just grow, they become lions, and then they're vicious and savage.
Do you know that they drug lions and stuff in the zoo? So they don't eat people.
Yes.
I didn't know this.
Zoos are not good.
I didn't know that. But anyways, I don't know. I was actually kind of sad that I didn't see a polar bear, but also happy because I probably would have died.
Valid.
But I wanted to see one.
Valid.
Because a polar, I don't know, it would be cool. I didn't get to see a single caribou or anything. I was excited to go there to see animals and the Northern Lights. I didn't get to see either.
I just think it's cool to see the whole area.
It's cool that I got to go. I was technically inside of the Arctic Circle.
If you haven't seen it already,
I entered the Arctic Circle.
Nick has a vlog on it.
I do. It's on my other.
It looked like you were
channel.
celebrating. I do.
Yes. I don't know. It was fun. It was cool. It was a place that I probably would never go back to. So it was cool that I.
That's the thing. Like no one goes there.
I didn't realize that like Norway and like Finland and like those countries are technically that north too. Like you look at a map and it's technically on the same plane, but like Norway and Finland feels like normal places for people to just go. But where I went, it's like the same elevation up. There's way less there, but I was like, it's going to be so cold. There's going to be absolutely nothing there because people don't go to these things and like I'm going to freeze to death. But it's technically as far north as like some of those other countries, which I don't know. I never really thought about it that way.
I don't do geography at all, so I can't picture any of that. But I didn't think it was as cold as you thought it was.
I thought it was going to be...
We are one of the most coldest places on Earth. Edmonton gets so fucking low in temperature compared to other places.
The thing is, they just have longer winter, so they just experience that longer.
Yes.
And less light.
But I think it's just because we're so low density. Like, if we had...
Low density?
Yeah, like, we don't have a big population. If we had more population, those areas would start to fill out because we would need them to.
Yeah.
But we're so low density in Canada. Like, we have such a small population.
Do you think it's density, or do you think it's because there's, like, no materials there for people to, like, or, like, resources that no one lives there?
Like, yes, it's, like, why we live in these places over that. But if Canada started to fill up, it would fill those up.
I guess. And the other thing, I didn't talk about... I don't think I told you about the planes. There's no security. Like, at all. Like, so I flew from Edmonton.
Why are you trying to fucking bomb this 4-person flight nowhere?
No, but it's not even that. I just rather someone not steal the plane. I'm not thinking they're going to steal the plane and, like, abduct me. Like, just steal the plane and crash it, or, like, or do something with, I don't know, fly it into a town. There was no security. So from Edmonton,
they probably know almost everyone. Most small towns,
yeah, but
are
I
very
could have
lax.
walked on there with an absolute bazooka, and no one would have said anything.
But, like, why? What's up there that you need a bazooka to?
There's why do people do it on a normal plane? Because they're crazy.
Well,
and if people had that urge or whatever it is, they would just. Maybe I shouldn't say this because now people are going to know you can do that. And
I think that it's not as big of a fear as it needs. Like,
then why do we do security in Edmonton?
Because we're actually, like, full big ass planes. Like, there's not enough people there to warrant, like, there's 10 people getting on your flight?
No. Sorry, I was thinking. For some of them, yes, but some of them, no. So, okay, listen to me. Hear me out. The small one. Okay, so when we went to Yellowknife, it was a real plane from Edmonton. The thing, we had to do all the security in Edmonton. We went through. It was like a regular plane that you would take to Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Then from Yellowknife, when we went to the Arctic Circle, it was like 20 people on it. So sure, there's not a lot of people. Maybe security's not as lax, but people.
Also, once you do security in Edmonton, you don't have to do it again.
Okay, but they weren't connecting flights.
Did you have to leave the airport?
Yes.
That doesn't matter.
It's a different airport, entirely different airport. Like,
unless you had to, like, go outside of the airport.
Yes. I went to the hotel, slept a night, and then came back.
That's fair. Then you probably should have done security. I get it.
And then I'm sitting in this small thing, and literally, I get it. There was no one there, but, like, you're sitting in this, like, 20 people got on the plane, but you're just sitting in this little room, enough for 20 people. There's a guy at a desk, and there's a fucking back door onto the runway. They just open it, and they say, okay, plane's boarding, open the door, no security, nothing. They didn't even check my check bag or anything. They didn't check anything. My carry-on, nothing. There could have been a pistol in there. There could have been a bomb. They're really not
worried about people.
They didn't check anything.
Doing most. We used to not have security until 9/11. Like, that's a newer thing.
But I just thought after that there'd be security in every airport. They didn't make anyone walk through metal detectors. There was nothing. Got on the plane.
They're just not really worried about terrorists coming to bomb those planes.
Which is fair.
Because most plane things are terrorists. Like, it's not a random person getting on with a gun and shooting people. There's easier places to then go have your anger. And normally, lots of those are still, like, school shootings.
But
because
I just
the
don't
kids
understand why we don't just do it anyways. It's just a safety thing that it wouldn't be hard to do. Why?
I agree.
Why wouldn't we do it?
I'm assuming it has something to do with just, like, jobs and, like, the lack of people there. But
probably, but, like, how hard would it be to? Those flight companies are making millions, regardless of who they are. Like, it wouldn't be that hard to put a melded. Like, I just feel like that should be, like, the government should say, like, this is mandatory to have an airport in an airport.
I do agree. I could talk about more security things after this.
Okay, yeah. So we'll get there. So when we were coming home, it was a real plane, like going to Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, a couple hundred people on it, like a real plane. We got on it to come home. No security again, nothing. And it was a real, like 200 people on the plane.
Yeah.
We flew from, where the fuck were we? Yeah, Norman Wells. So a place way in the north, but still, it was a full flight. Flew back to Yellowknife. Another full flight back to Edmonton. But they didn't make us do security till we got to Edmonton.
That one's a little weird, but
So they checked, they put all of our bags on the plane and everything. Didn't have to go through any type of security till we got to Edmonton.
They're just not
But
worried. I don't know.
The bag was already on the plane for 2 flights.
That is weird.
It just doesn't make any sense how like airports work sometimes. Like how you have to go through security sometimes and sometimes you don't.
Yeah, I think it's very dependent on the city. Most you do have to do security if you left the airport. So those ones are they're obviously not worried about it.
Should be okay.
Actually,
you keep talking.
More security I could talk about is Lexi and me were discussing skipping school in high school and how I was a school skipper. I skipped a lot of class, and she was like, I don't understand how you did that. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I don't understand. People talk about skipping school, and like, did you just like why would you not go to class? Why would you just like stay in the school? And I was like, no, I left. Like, I'd go for lunch and just like not come back until my last class or something.
Okay, continue.
And she was talking about how she couldn't do it. She was like, we had to have someone let us in and out of the place.
See, this is what I'm like.
And I was just like, oh yeah, come to Canada. You just walk in and out because we don't have school shootings.
And they have like, some schools have like metal detectors
Yes.
and stuff. And like, but this is what I'm saying. Like, in what world should there be more metal detectors in a school than an airport?
Yeah, I do agree with that.
I mean, two different countries, but
yeah, I don't know a single school that has metal detectors here. We didn't even have security. Like, I could walk out and in through any single door. She's like, technically some people skipped and they would just like, because like we'd have like a fire exit in like the band room.
Ouch.
We do that all the time.
Fuck. Son of a biscuit dick.
And so we could just like, they just text someone in the band room and be like, let me in at 12:30, and they would do it that way. But I don't know, I could leave through any door. Like, no door locked. Except for at like end of school time. Like at night.
Yeah, I don't know, it just seems crazy that there's metal detectors in school than airports.
I would assume that most states' places are way more protected than us too. Like, even going through security here versus in the States was so different to me.
Airports are different for like small flights. I know it's more of a thing for small flights, but those couple were big flights and there was no security. And
yeah.
But the other thing that was crazy out there, in some of those small towns, there's no car rentals because they're not big, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to rent a car, you just phone Jim and he drops his personal car off at the airport.
Where are you going to take this car?
This is a fair statement. Whoops. This is a fair statement, but like
we're in the middle of buttfuck nowhere.
I feel like someone could take it back and chop it up and sell it for parts, or like.
It's a lot of work to fly up there to get a car to then, because it's such a small town, they would know.
True. I don't know. It seems the keys were just, they phone us like, yeah, it's the blue one out front, keys are in the ignition, doors unlocked.
Isn't that crazy? I want to live in a world where that you could do that though. Like, I would love that I could just leave my keys, like, and just trust everyone.
If you did that in Edmonton, your car would be gone in 20 minutes.
100%.
If you left it anywhere in Edmonton, it would be gone.
100%. But what a beautiful world to live in, that you can just leave your keys in and not worry about it. Like,
yeah, I don't know. There was some crazy things that I just didn't think happened in the world, but they do apparently up there.
Small towns that aren't worried of, like, it's a lot of work to fly up there to do things like that. I don't know, like.
But like, would people go there just because they have whatever? Like, some people just are not wired maybe correctly. And they decide that that's where they're going to go do whatever crazy thing that they've thought of.
There are, like, yes, but that's rare. Most times where a car is stolen or, like, whatever, like, there are sometimes where it's not, but most are not, like, preconceived. Most are, like, they walked by and your car was sitting there with its key in, like, and people go do it. Like, people aren't like, man, I'm gonna fly up to Nunavut to steal some cars. Like,
no, well, yeah, I wouldn't. I think some people would do it if they're like, okay, we're gonna chop them up and sell them and blah blah blah, and that's gonna be their lifestyle to try and live. Some people might, but I would be more I'm more concerned about the flights thing. Like, I just can't get over like how, like, someone could go up there, steal the plane, and fly it. Who knows how far you could get with one of those planes, but I don't know. It just seems insane that you wouldn't do a little bit more checking before someone gets on a plane. Like, I feel like stealing a car, I don't know, maybe you could do the same amount of damage as stealing a car versus stealing a plane. I I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I do think there should be more security on your plane, but also...
Oh, I got another story about the plane.
Okay.
One of the most awkward things in life has to be when someone is sitting in your spot on a plane. I got on the plane. Okay, it was partly my fault because I got 2 tickets because I printed off both my passes because it was connecting flights. So I had both of them. I looked at the wrong seat number technically, so it was my fault. It wasn't. So I got on the plane. It said it was 4A. Got on. I was like, someone's sitting in 4A, but it was my seat for my next flight.
Oh.
But it was just, even if it was, like, there was no, like, they're like, well, I'm 4A. And it was just, like, so awkward. And, like, everyone's lined up behind you, like, waiting for you. No one can get past you. And then you're, like, not arguing, but you're like, well, my ticket says this. And, like, well, and then this one girl, there was a mom and her kid. And the kid was probably, like, 16, 17. Maybe I'm just being a boomer. But she's like, no one's sitting behind you. There's no one. I was like, yeah, but other people are still coming. Like, someone's going to sit there. She's like, just sit in the other row. There's no one there. And I was like, bitch, like, I'm about to fight a 16-year-old. Like, I can't sit there because that seat's booked. Like, if there's a confrontation here on the tickets, we got to talk to a person here because I can't just sit somewhere else because this is just going to make a domino effect of other people not being in their seats. And they weren't willing to, like, let's figure this out. They were just like, no, just, and I was like,
angry.
Maybe,
but it's your fault the entire time.
It was my fault that time.
Stop!
My microphone is falling over.
Well, stop playing with it, and then it wouldn't. It was your fault the entire time, though.
It was my fault, but it does happen.
Yes, and people don't realize that they overbooked flights. Like, they overbook almost every single flight.
So, like, I was like, okay, we'll just wait for the flight to come and we'll get this figured out. And they're like yelling at me to just go sit somewhere else. It's like, bitch, like, I can't. It's going to cause more issues. And
just look at the right ticket, Nicholas.
Everyone's lined up behind me and they're like, well, just let me pass. And like, people are behind me are yelling at me, just can we get through while you figure this out? I'm like, there's nowhere to stand. Like, I can't, there's one signal aisle here. Like, what do you want me to do?
I would have gone into the seat, probably.
They were in it.
No, the one behind that no one was there? I would just stood in there to talk.
What we did, and we were talking, and then they were just yelling at me, and then I was trapped there because then people were walking past me, and these people are still yelling at me. I was like, I can't even escape this.
I'm almost always last to be on a plane.
It was
because I
usually am too.
I don't understand the need to sit early. Like, I just have to sit in that uncomfortable seat then.
I agree.
For like the next 8 hours. So like, I normally just like don't care, and I'll just like be on the last part because it's not like the plane can get off until everyone's there.
I agree. It was... Oh, and then we sat on the airport because the fucking runway people didn't move the stairs. We had to like walk on the runway through stairs like every time. We were like 45 minutes delayed because no one came and moved the fucking stairs away from the plane.
That's rough.
And we were just sitting in there.
That is rough.
I don't know. I think that's all I have. But that has to be top 3 awkward. Someone sitting on your spot in a plane because there's nothing...
I don't know. I just ask nicely. But I've actually never had it happen.
I was like, hey, like,
technically,
we got an issue
we've
here.
done it before, but...
When
we booked, when we did the thing that some people absolutely hate, when we booked the 2 outside seats when we went to Bali. And then we just sat in 2, and then when the person came, we just offered them whatever seat they wanted.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, I think that's it.
Oh, when I flew to DC, what did you... Were they 2 or 3?
3 seats.
What did you book?
Sides.
Or did you choose or not care?
Some of them I choose.
Oh, God, I'm cold.
But then when I chose them, I got there and they just like repicked my seats and it wasn't what I picked. No. I usually pick the window.
That's annoying. I thought I was a window. Well, normally I sit in the middle when we've flown places because I always have 2 people on either side of me that I know and I don't care sitting in the middle. But when I flew by myself to DC, I picked the middle, and I can't decide if I would pick the middle next time.
Gross. No way.
Not
what
the
if
middle,
you get beside...
the window, sorry.
Oh,
I picked the window, and I can't decide if I would take the window next time. Because I thought it'd be, like, it was nice to have, like, the window to, like, lean up against to sleep. But I'm so happy I didn't have to pee, because
that's the thing, I never have to pee,
every single time, people were just, like, fast asleep next to me, and I was like, there's no way I'm waking them up.
See, that's got to be an awkward situation, too. Like, what do you do when you have to pee? You go, excuse me, sir?
I would never care if someone woke me up to say they had to go to the washroom, but I was just like, there's these, like, big man next to me, and I'm like, if I have to pee, I'm just peeing my pants. Like, I'm not waking you up. I didn't have to, but
That would be the only benefit of outside row.
yes, that's why I feel like aisle could be nice. And you do have more room for like your feet technically, because you could like stretch them out a little bit.
But I got the whole row to myself every time
Oh, that's so heavenly.
because no one's really
Yeah.
They're not
full.
super
Yeah.
super full. I don't know. Planes amaze me.
Planes are cool.
Okay, we done?
Yeah, I think we're.
Sorry
Good.
for the inconsistent posting, people. If anyone's still watching,
Chris
We're
will be
just-
here.
making life happen. So we'll post when we post at this situation.
Have
Okay.
yourselves an incredible day.
Bye.